If the ultimate goal of a feminist is to let a woman essentially be who she wants to be and do what she wants to do and fight for equal rights, then why does that mean that I have to strip myself of part of my identity?
You know, in terms of being modest and being a woman, I actually find it quite liberating.
Just because all they're selling for the summer are, sleeveless dresses doesn't mean I'm going to wear it. I'm going to make it work for me. Because I'm designing clothing that doesn't make you compromise. It doesn't make you pick or choose. It lets you be fashionable and modest.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Go to the mosque just about every Friday.
And that's not something that I want you all to reflect on.
Seeing the kinds of things that the Muslim women in my community were doing in order to look fabulous kind of inspired me. When I got into fashion, and even when I told my professors, my fine art professors, I was moving into fashion, then they said, how are you going to be a fashion designer if you can't design like miniskirts, if you can't design things that are sleeveless, then how are you going to be a fashion designer? And then I told her, I said, that's not what fashion is all about. Because that isn't what fashion's all about. My design philosophy is that clothing is a home for the body. Kind of like how a house, it can have many windows to it, and so then you can see what's going on inside, things that are private, or you can just beautify the outside of the house and just leave what's meant to be private, which to me is the woman's, most of her body. So like in Islam, then basically just a woman's face and hands are supposed to be shown. It's drawing a line between what's public and what's private. Yeah. Yeah, it's bubbles. I don't think I would use it, but
You have to just have a picture of it.
I don't know about this. Let me see.
14.
Oh, okay. I never have. Hey, Haute. Yeah.
We manufacture some of the biggest selection of hijab and hijab-related products than anyone in the United States. Recently, we started developing our own line of urban-type garments. We call this our Sisters in the Hood. This is our urban style that appeals mostly to the younger sisters. Usually, this starts out with a shorter end. Sometimes they wear one of the hijab caps. It starts out shorter on one end. You see, I don't wear this one, right? and it's wrapped something similar to that. The women who are covering, we're not oppressed, we're not depressed, we're not feeling bad about ourselves. We are educated. Sometimes people approach me and they're talking in baby talk, and I'm wondering why they're talking to me like that. And sometimes they think that, oh, maybe I don't speak English well, or maybe I'm from some developing country and I don't know what I'm doing, and my husband is beating me up and he's making me wear these clothes, and it's a whole host of things. And then sometimes people approach me and ask me, and they are sweating profusely and asking me, aren't you hot? And I ask them, are you hot? And we both agree we're hot. Okay, so, but the impression always is that, and I guess from the media and what goes on in different societies and what people see and what people learn, is always that we're somehow oppressed and we're upset that we have to wear this clothes. And if you talk to most women who cover, that's not the case. That's not the case.
Color? Yes, I like this color.
Has the look at the blue.
Yeah, blue also, yes.
This is the same thing. And a pattern that you like.
I'm very delighted. I'm very delighted to come over here because I didn't know. Because lots of store I go, but I didn't find anything like hijab or this scarf.
Walaikum salam.
I think I'm gonna get that. It's nice. I like the design. You
It's
know,
a different style. We're
is.
making these in New York, not in China.
looks good. No, it looks good. That's what we need. The economy.
I think when people think of fashion, they might see some fashion show and they see the extravagant outfits and they think, wow, that's what fashion is. But if you think about it, fashion is just a style of dressing. It's just a style of dressing, and different people interpret that different ways. Even the designers who you see on the runway, they're just interpreting their idea of what influenced them, and that's all fashion is. It's a style of dressing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to The Closet. I'm Sabrina. We've been getting a lot of emails from readers asking how to tie the hijab with the earrings. So today, we're going to take you through a step-by-step tutorial on exactly how to do it. You can do this as low as you want, and a lot of people, it kind of depends on the shape of your face and what you feel more comfortable with. I had this idea to do this series, and at the time it wasn't called The Closet, but it was basically a weekly fashion show about Muslim women. And by fashion show, I mean, just like showing Muslim women different ways to wear the hijab and kind of following trends while still remaining within the confines of the Islamic dress code. I kind of want the website and the videos to create like an open dialogue. Like I want non-Muslims to feel comfortable approaching a Muslim on the street and just asking them a question. And I kind of also want Muslims to be open to being like, you know what, people are going to ask me questions, and not to be like standoffish and feel like totally offended if someone walks over and says, why do you have that on your head? Once I started covering my hair, every Muslim woman I saw, I'd want to like tell her salam, because I wanted her to know, like, and I used to wrap my hair first. And I'd be like in short sleeves, and like my wrap has like, holes in it and stuff. It's like netted. And I'm like running around like, salam alaikum, to like all these women. And they're like, why is like this weird girl at the mall, like in a short sleeve shirt and like a helmet, like following me around, like saying salam. So that was probably like, because all of a sudden you feel like, it's not that I felt like I didn't belong before, but you all of a sudden feel this identity that so many people share from every walk of life, every like socioeconomic status, every skin color. And Islam is a very colorful religion, like you walk into any mosque in America and you'll find Chinese people and white people and African people and Afro-American people and Indians and Pakistanis, like everybody, Arabs. So it's like all of a sudden you feel like this one thing kind of is like this common bond between like women of like every single age and walk of life. I think that a lot of Muslim women, they always want to tell non-Muslims that like we're normal, and it's like I see why they do that, but I kind of feel like we shouldn't have to defend the fact that we're normal. I kind of want to sort of say, like, if I took this off right now and put it on your head, would you like just go totally mute? Like, would it change who you were?
sure most of you know her, this fabulous, new, exciting Islamic designer, Nzinga Knight. Here she is.
We all respond to certain things visually, so we want to have clothing that relates to us. But oftentimes, like as Muslim women, we go out there and we're looking for clothing, especially evening wear, and you just can't find anything out there because it wasn't designed for you. You know, it doesn't have sleeves, it's backless, it shows cleavage. And I think as a designer, then it's something not to be taken for granted that it's a problem that could be solved.
I'm looking at your design, and I think it's very respectful, and it doesn't reflect sexuality. Mm-hmm. It reflects a Muslim woman.
So, but I don't think there's as much weight on sexy as a lot of the men put on it with Islam. Like when it comes to topics like that, is that we have like a place for everything. So like
everything
sexy is not public. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I feel about clothing.
It's not objectifying.
Your clothes are absolutely stunning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stunning.
Good.
I want to look at besides.
My company is Maribel. It's a modest clothing company. I think a lot of converts run up against a wall and they feel like there's no one really servicing this market, and they want to retain their feeling of being stylish and being young and not being dowdy and dressing like a grandma. And so a lot of my customers are converts, and I think that that's because they're looking for something that they can just continue being them. You know, they might have changed their perspective on the religious aspect and the way they want to dress in terms of the level of modesty, but at the end of the day, you know, you are who you are, and you don't really change on the inside that much. This is an example of a skirt that I did last spring for last spring's collection, and it's an example of how Muslim women are, you know, they're buying prints, they're buying colors, they're buying things that are very bold, and things that the average person wouldn't think that a Muslim woman would be interested in wearing. You know, they just think of black and dull and dark colors, and I'd say that these two prints are anything but. A lot of younger people are really interested in fashion, and I think that Muslims want to be included, and I think that there's a lot of young Muslim girls and women who they want a piece of that pie. They want to be involved. They're creative, they're stylish, and they think, well, you know, I can do it just as good as Chanel and, you know, the next designer. They're not being intimidated. The fact that they have different values and different ways of dressing. And I think that that's great. I think it's really exciting. I think in 5 or 10 years down the road, we're going to have a lot of options as Muslim women.
We'll need to put this dart on the actual back body piece. Basically switch them. Because this is a dart here, and then this is the princess seam for the side panel jacket.
Yeah.
So we'll have to move this dart over
on the other
here.
side.
Basically switch them. I think that's what is giving the fit. Giving it problems. Our values and our perception of modesty, it's really evolved through our upbringing and through how we were raised as Muslims. We do both come from conservative Muslim households, and with both of our mothers being American and our fathers being South Asian, you know, there was that sense of the cultural influence in there as well. But I think over time, as we've grown up, we've evolved our own perception of modesty and what we're comfortable with as women and as Muslims.
This is good. You don't like it?
Well, it's just this.
Yeah.
It's used in the back.
And even the knit.
Now you can stitch.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
knit
have
a little
stitch
bit.
it here.
Together, tack it.
Together, tap together, and you have no problem.
You tack center back, woven to knit, and then like an invisible tack, and then.
The things that we've been doing with Ava Sheet so far is it's a great concept and it's a great story, but we learned early on when we call stores that don't really care about the modest woman, we need to stop doing that if we want to expect them to hang in stores like Jeffrey and Bergdorf Goodman, because Bergdorf Goodman and Jeffrey right now at this point they want to care about the fashionable woman, and if she happens to be modest, that's a great thing, but it's not really something that we really want to push with this. And I actually, at first we were really excited about the modest woman and I wanted to really push that aspect of it, but thinking of it too, you want these clothes to hang anywhere. You don't want them to only hang in these specialized sections and get the stigma attached to them. Oh, it's only an ethnic brand. Oh, it's only this. You want it to be a universal brand, and it really is.
My perception of modesty is the same as Fatima's, and how we view hijab is the same. She doesn't feel like women should feel obliged to wear it, as I feel the same way.
There are Muslim customers who are comfortable showing a little more skin, but are not going to go around in something completely revealing. So we want to cater to them as well. We don't, like what we were saying before with the other designers, catering more towards Muslim. It's a very specific Muslim clientele.
Yeah.
You know, like very observant. They're going to wear the long sleeves. They're going to wear the full-length dresses.
And, you know, we have other friends who are Jewish, who are conservative Christians, who wear, you know, modest clothing, and they abide by their religious guidelines as well when they have to dress modestly. So they're looking for the longer skirts. You know, they wear the calf-length skirts, and you know, they don't wear sleeveless. Like they wear longer 3/4 length sleeves, and we want to cater to them as well.
As Muslims, you know, pre 9/11, we didn't always have to identify ourselves as being Muslim. After 9/11, there was all this curiosity, so now you're forced to identify yourself, whether or not you really did before. So this whole idea of an American Islam and the American Muslim it's growing now out of a reaction to that. And you know, you see more Muslims going into non-traditional fields. You know, they're not all going into medicine, and they're not all engineers.
Yeah.
You see more artistic ventures being pursued now. You see journalism, you see politics, you see design.
And it's needed. Like we need to have, you know, more Muslims in the non-traditional fields. I mean, non-traditional for us, because who is going to represent us? Our generation is going to change that for America and change it for the Muslim population in America.
Okay, could you stoop down? What do you want to do? I want to walk. Do you drink water? Women's submission.
Yes, exactly. I want to look submissive.
No way. My clothes are not about submissiveness.
But I want to look. There's a hood attached to it.
I don't yeah, and
I know what it looks like. That's what I want to do. The traditional walk is too not innocent for this dress. I agree.
The traditional walk is too not innocent.
Yeah, I want to look really innocent.
No, but the traditional, just a fashionable walk, like it's a very fashionable dress.
But that's not innocent enough.
A lot of times the messages that we're sent, and men and women in this society, is that it's kind of like, is that if a woman, you know, chooses to flash her boobs, like let's say at Mardi Gras, that she's liberated. She's expressing her sexual freedom and her freedom of choice, the freedom to show her boobs to the world, you know? So I think I think that in contrast to that, if we're sent that message of that is liberation, and then we see a woman who's covering basically everything, you know, and she has on a headscarf, then that's looked at as unliberated. When designers create a woman to design for, they're thinking about a woman, and that woman is not me. But when I'm designing, I'm thinking about a woman, and that woman is me, and that woman is Zainab, and that woman is Fatima, you know, and that woman is also Lisa, you know, and that woman is Yasmin, you know. So I'm thinking about that woman, but it's just that a lot of people haven't thought about that woman. Yeah.